Hi, the name is Belle. I'm reading an excerpt from my book Remains for the Best Bookstore Excerpt Contest. This is it here. She ducks down when one of them stops and tilts his head to the side as if he can hear her. She gasps when he turns fully and stares right at her. Her heart speeds in anticipation, but he just winks and walks to the waiting car. As soon as it drives away, she's sprinting around the fence and crashing through her front door. "Mom! Dad!" she yells. She's through the foyer and searching the extended family room in seconds. Her dad isn't in his recliner, and her mom isn't laid across the sofa hogging the TV remote. There's just more smoke. She crosses the room, moving around the sofa, and pushes open the door leading to the kitchen. They aren't there either. She wants to scream, and the more she panics, the higher the flames seem to grow. At this point, the wallpaper is melting off in clumps. The faces from the paintings are warped and distorted, and she can barely breathe. It makes no difference. She refuses to leave without them. She takes the stairs two at a time. It's possible they are upstairs looking for her. When she reaches the top, she nearly slips and has to grab the railing to avoid tumbling back down. Horror paints her features when she realizes what she stepped in. It's a trail of blood leading to her parents' room. She walks down the hall holding her sleeve over her nose and mouth, and then pauses in front of the door. Taking a deep breath, she pushes it open. She finds them both on the bed laid next to each other. Her mom's face is turned to the side, and there's a chunk of flesh missing from her throat. Her father's shirt is soaked in blood, and his eyes are wide open and lifeless. She stares at them in silence before crawling into the bed and lying between them. The house creaks loudly, its foundation protesting as it succumbs to the flames. She doesn't care. Her eyes burn and the smoke gets even thicker, making it harder for her to breathe. The flames fall into their room and climb the walls. They eagerly look at the ceiling, and she can feel herself losing consciousness. And she looks up. She makes no attempt to escape, just lies there and waits. She wakes the next morning to silence. The fire apparently stopped while she slept. She realizes her powers must have protected her. "Pity," she mumbles, before gently rubbing her eyes. Sitting up, she catches her reflection in the cracked mirror across the room, but looks away quickly. Standing, she turns towards the bed and hovers over her parents. "This is the quietest you guys have ever been." She smirks, but there's no one left to care about her little quips. No one. She releases a steady breath before leaning over to kiss her mother on the forehead. She then slides her hand down her father's face, closing his eyes. She intertwines their hands and walks away, closing the door behind her. Climbing down the stairs, she walks into the kitchen out of habit. The coffee pot is still sitting on the counter. They're all there laughing about bad coffee and burnt toast. She's shoving as much food in her mouth as she possibly can and keeping an eye out for the bus. She blinks, and they're gone. Turning on a heel, she runs straight out her front door. She has to put as much space between herself and that kitchen as possible. Turning random corners, cutting through yards, and running. Running until she's out of breath. Running until her legs completely give out. Breathing raggedly, she sits down on the side of the road. Cars speed past her. Some honk, and some slow down curiously. She doesn't notice them. She's not sure how much time has passed when the red sports car turns down the street. Its shadow blocks out the sun, which had been beating down on her mercilessly. Victoria doesn't bother looking up when it slows to a stop. An old lady rolls down her window, asking her if she's okay, but she says nothing. "Little girl?" she questions. She parks the car and walks until she is standing above her. "Little girl, are you okay?" Bending down, she gently touches her cheek. "Oh, you're completely covered in dirt and—" "Is that blood?" She pulls her hand away. Victoria looks down at herself and notices the state of her clothing for the first time. Slowly, she pulls off her stained hoodie and places it on the ground beside her. It instantly catches fire. The woman backs away, terrified, before she finally finds her voice. What are you?" Victoria stares down at her bloodied hands. "I am everything," she says quietly, "and I am nothing."